This video is sponsored by Guitar Tricks. From the world's largest guitar magazine, Guitar World, Guitar Tricks is a one-stop online music learning resource for guitarists. Signing up comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee, and you can sign up for a 2-week free trial right now by using the link in the description or the pinned comment below this video. Using this link and successfully signing up for the 2-week free trial helps support RJ's Cave. Thank you.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for joining me. You know, as guitar players, when we first start out, it can get overwhelming. You know, it can feel like you got a mountain to climb. But don't worry, I'm here to tell you, you don't have a mountain to climb. First thing we're going to do is we're going to demystify music theory a little bit, okay? Hopefully. And then we're going to road map the entire fretboard and learn the basics of how to navigate that road map, all right? And we're going to get to a few other things along the way. First, let's demystify music theory. I mean, let's think about it. What is a theory, right? A theory is just an idea that's been proven to work in practice. It's just an idea. So music theory is just a collection of ideas. So at the end of the day, once you reach a certain point, right, once you get past to that beginner level, you can do whatever you want. You could take it you can just basically take it as you go, right? And learn the things that you think are going to help you in your guitar trajectory, okay? So don't even worry about music theory being this huge thing. It's more about taking the ideas that you think are going to help you when you need them, okay? And learning the guitar is a lifetime thing anyway, right? So you got your whole life ahead of you. Don't rush. You know, it turns out all these ideas that make up music theory, they all come from one place, the major scale. Yeah. And we learned that in its simplest form pretty much day one, right? So we're kind of already learning music theory from day one anyway. So that shouldn't be a big deal. But then we learned that we got to learn all these scales all over the entire fretboard. And that's what you start thinking, geez, this is going to be a mountain again. No, it's not, okay? Because did you know that every type of scale, major scale, minor scale, pentatonic scale, blues scale, they have a pattern to them, okay? If you learn that pattern, then you learn that whole group of scales, okay? So you want to learn a major scale, you don't memorize the notes in all 12 major scales. No. You learn the pattern to one major scale, and you learn all the scales. How do you do that, though? Oh, yeah, well, like I said, and then you got to identify the root with your index finger, okay? You do that on the low E string. From this point on, just know that when it comes to learning any type of scale, learn the pattern between the notes, okay? That pattern is described like this, okay? When you're moving from one note to the note right next to it, you're moving a half of a step. That's what it's called. A half step, a half, that's it. When you play a note and then move, not to the note next to it, but the one directly after that, leaving one fret space between, then you're moving a whole step, or a full step, or just a step, right? So the pattern for the major scale is step, step, half, step, 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 half. Okay? Using that, identifying what note is going to be your root, you can learn every scale. You can definitely do it across one string, and using that pattern, memorizing that pattern, and applying it to the entire fretboard is going to make that a whole lot easier. This is what it looks like when the scale is spread out across the entire fretboard. That's the A minor pentatonic scale. Okay. To make that part easier, we just divide it into positions. 5 positions, okay? 5 notes in the scale, 5 positions. And that's the other thing that makes this a little easier. The pentatonic scale only has 5 notes. It doesn't have any of the bad notes, okay? So this is going to make navigating with this scale about the easiest thing you can choose to do as far as learning how to navigate scales on the fretboard. Let's get started with position 1, okay? Position 1 for this scale, this is the A minor pentatonic scale. So position 1 for this scale, you're going to find it on the 5th fret of the low E string. Your index finger, put that there. That's your root note. The whole position encompasses 4 frets. You've got 4 fingers. You can cover 4 frets. Now, from time to time, you may need, depending on the scale, you may need to do a little stretch, 1 fret this way or 1 fret that way. So don't discount having to do that. But here, we're not going to have to worry about that, okay? So we're going to be working up and down like this. If you just use the notes in this position and work your way up and down vertically, using alternate picking, get comfortable with the position and learn where each of the root is. You actually have 3 in this position, right? Think about where you're at. You have the A on the low E. You have a high E string as well. So that's basically the same thing, right? So you also have one way down there. And then you also have the octave, which in this case is located on the, it's 2 frets down and 2 frets over underneath this finger, your ring finger. Okay, and that's your octave. So you have 3 octaves right there, 3 roots. Okay, and get comfortable and fluid going up and down the fretboard. Then move on to the next position, okay? I suggest learning position 1, then position 2, and position 5, because they're all connected if you use 5 behind position 1. And in this case, since we're learning the A minor scale, you can actually do that, okay? By learning position 5, position 1, and then position 2, now you have a little bit of room. You can start playing around horizontally while still working on positions 3 and 4. While doing this, take note of where the root note or the octave is in each position, okay? Because the root note or the octave is your way of moving between positions, right? It's kind of like your anchor, or it's an anchor. For now, it's your only anchor. Anyway, that's your way of going between positions and staying in key, okay? So with little practice, you'll be able to do this in every key of the minor pentatonic scale. But what about the major pentatonic scale? Well, to play in the major pentatonic scale, you're using all the same positions, all the same fingers, all the same notes. It's just one minor change. When you're in the position 1, instead of the note that's under your index finger being your root, it's the note under your pinky. Okay? In this case, it's the C note, right? And your octave is going to move as well. You're going to have one directly under here on the high E string, and then you're going to have another C on the G string in the 5th fret, directly under your index finger. So when you feel comfortable with the minor pentatonic scale, switch from the minor pentatonic scale to the major pentatonic, okay? And explore that. Once you're done with that, did you know that we can actually add 1 note to this pentatonic scale and get a whole nother scale, or actually 2 whole other scales, because the same stuff you just learned about the pentatonic scale still applies? Talking about the blues scale. By adding 1 note, it's going to be, of course, all over the fretboard, but by adding 1 note to the scale, and instead of it being a 5-note scale, now it's a 6-note scale, we can change this scale entirely. Okay? So by adding this note here, you've got the minor blues scale. You're in the major blues scale when you're using your pinky to identify the root note on the low E string. Okay? So right there, you've learned, I think, 72 different scales. You've learned how to identify them all on your own. You don't need anybody else. All you need to do is learn the pattern for the type of scale that you want to learn. And that pattern is made of the spaces in between the notes, right? So if you can find that, and hello internet, yeah, you can find that, then that's all you need. The rest is up to you, okay? This is all basic stuff, and I hope this has been helpful to somebody. I really do. And if you guys want to know more, hit me up. Let me know in the comments, okay? If you like this kind of stuff, if you like the guitar world, you want some support, and you want to learn about cool gear and other things like that, please consider subscribing to RJ's Cave, because it's kind of what the channel is all about, right? And we do giveaways, and I try to find ways to support other people on their music journeys every day here on YouTube, and other people can attest to that too. So it's not just me blowing smoke, okay? And more subscribers we have, the more we can do here on the channel to help you, right? So subscribe to the channel, become a member, all that good stuff, okay? And in the meantime, I think that's going to do it for this one. You've been awesome. I've been RJ. Until the next one, take it easy.